Welcome to Sad Boys, a podcast about feelings and other things also. I'm Jarvis.
I'm Jordan. Oh wait, this isn't the night's episode. This isn't the Patreon only.
No,
episode.
this is the normie pod.
Normie pod, where we're gentle and nice, unlike the bonus episode.
Raunchy bonus episode where we say bad words like kick,
farts,
and us.
Bleep those.
Yeah.
What's up?
Nothing much. It's just the boys today.
Just the boys.
We're
sad boys.
We're joined by a special guest, which is Nick is Not Green's water bottle that he left here.
Oh my God, he's lying down as well. What the hell happened?
It's a little dented up, dude. He's seen some shit.
That actually makes complete sense. That's like, and it's also the exact amount of denting that Nick would do. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. It's two little dents on the top. Mm-hmm. He's such a funny little guy.
Yeah, he's kind of a top dent kind of guy. Dude. Are you know what I respect?
Continue.
You know what I respect is people who can carry around a water bottle.
In general, like day to day, all the time.
I can't do it.
That's not a gym strat for you?
I lose it. I leave it. I bought, for example, foam rollers, which I use for my back when I'm boxing. I have lost 3 of them already.
You take them with you?
Yeah, you have to take him to the gym because I have to do a PT workout beforehand.
Interesting. And then you wasn't at the gym? Or do you try and take them home?
I don't know where some of them have gone. I usually accidentally leave it at the gym and then it's there for a while. And it's supposed to be there when I get back, but then it's been gone and I've been like, where did I put it? I don't know. But water bottles are much in the same way where I like leave it somewhere and then I realize that it's gone like far too late.
You know what's tricky about something like a foam roller is there's no equivalent
clip it to my backpack.
Kinda. There's no equivalent of like tapping keys, wallet, phone, roller.
Yeah, I keep it strapped to my back like a samurai.
Like the Witcher.
Yeah.
Does it help, the foam roller?
Oh, it does. Yeah, I mean, like I have specific
when
exercises.
You haven't lost it.
Yeah, when I haven't lost it, I have specific exercises from my physical therapist that are like supposed to like loosen up my lower back, which is like tight.
How you feeling?
Bad.
Ready for warfare?
No.
Ready to strike Aaron Henson directly in the side of the throat?
Absolutely not.
Oh no.
Yeah. I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna freaking shoot him with a gun.
Oh wow. I don't think you're allowed to do that. It's also gonna be hard with the gloves.
That I'm gonna lose.
Are you allowed to tag team? I can get in there.
Oh yeah, like it's like the Royal Rumble. Yeah. And I just like call in a Optimus Prime from like the stands.
Or it's like a referee behavior in WWE where we can cheat and the punishment is you scamps. You don't get like disqualified.
Right.
I get in there and I hit your Baron with a big folding chair.
Yeah.
And the ref's like, get out of here, chump.
The ref is like, what are you doing? Yeah. And he's just not able to stop you or anything. He doesn't stop the fight. Everything has to keep going because there's a lot of, people in the stands to
pay-per-view.
Entertain. Yeah. They've sold all the pay-per-view tickets already. So they just gotta let it go.
I'm going to dress up as your manager. But with your gimmick, what's your fighting gimmick? Like the corpse.
Yeah. Okay. I was like,
wait, you should bring. You ever seen like Ryu in an opening of a more recent Street Fighter games where he's carrying that big sack? There's no backpacks and like the classical martial arts.
Yeah,
carries a sack full of I don't know. He doesn't seem to wear anything different.
Recently I was thinking about fighting games in the context of actual fighting. With boxing specifically, because I was practicing like a block, but like a kind of like a parry situation where I realized, like hit stun and like end lag exists in real life.
Yeah.
Because I'm like
you're plus 10 frames when
like frame disadvantage or whatever. Like I'm like, cause someone, punched me and I blocked it. And then my coach was like, okay, now, do a hook, right, to counter this. And I was like, oh, and I'm like, why couldn't he? And technically he could block it, but, just by virtue of it's just hard to do everything at once. So if he's like just let off a big punch that you blocked, I guess he is vulnerable for a few frames.
Yeah, you're plus.
Yeah.
You're plus on that.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, interesting.
You're literally also learning block strings.
Yeah.
It's like, high, mid.
Yeah. I'm gonna do Evo moment 37 at the creator class. I'm gonna perfect parry Aaron Hansen's ult.
Gonna perfectly parry his flurry kick.
Yeah. Every hit of it. They're gonna be like, we've never seen it happen, and then they're gonna be like, oh my god, Justin.
Me and the audience going, whoa.
Yeah.
And you should use a spinning bird kick.
Yeah.
Spinning
Right.
bird
That
kick.
is so weird. They'll be like, remember when Jarvis was supposed to only be punching and then he just did a hurricane kick in the middle of the boxing ring?
Yeah, you should do a
I'm
rising
barefoot
dragon
all of a sudden.
punch. If you fall over, rising dragon punch, invulnerability frames at the start.
Right.
So if he's crowding you in the corner, nothing he can do.
Right. Like, I hope I can do some of my charge moves to have super armor so we can't like break him up.
You gotta build meter.
Yeah.
Who's a nerd listeners understanding you're not cool?
Stop it. Would you let your spouse poop in the same room as you? Would you ever share a bathroom like in that way? Have you ever?
Now, spouse.
Oh, sorry. Partner.
Well, it introduces an interesting dilemma, which is that I feel like life just would not be sustainable otherwise in the case of a spouse for the rest of my life. And also if my relationship couldn't survive that, I would be concerned. But I am by trade a shy pooper.
Okay.
And
That's
an
fair.
overly shameful pooper.
Right.
If I'm
Like
at
you
like
need
a
to keep a
hangout,
little secret. You're like, no, please, no one.
I would, without, short of like CIA torture, I would not admit that I was having a shit.
Can I just say that Shy Pooper rhymes with Sly Cooper in a very fun way?
It's based on that story.
Yeah, okay.
It's the same idea.
Okay, yeah.
Once
You're
Sly
like a
Cooper,
raccoon or whatever.
once he's able to pickpocket enough gold, and Carmen, I think Carmen San Diego, who pursues him.
Is that how that works? I actually don't know.
Carmella, I don't know.
Oh, okay,
I used
yeah.
to love Sly Cooper. You know who loves Sly Cooper? Sandwich. She's a big Sly person.
Shout out to friend of the show, Sandwich, who's listening to this for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
What a loser.
Sam texted me and she was saying that she loves listening to Sad Boys.
Man, I hope I'm remembering the right person regarding Sly Cooper.
Then that could be awkward.
Because I can be disproven.
I know
now.
she's like I feel like that whole group is into Spyro in kind of a weird way.
Yeah, she's Spyro pilled.
Yeah.
She's a regular. But I think that's more like the furry, scaly element of it that appeals. Know if it's a
Right. That's the criteria is that it's got to be, furry or scaly in some way.
no pooping same room as person I am dating. I was in a 2-year relationship prior to a couple months ago, and I wouldn't under no circumstances.
Yeah. So my take on that, I want to go briefly back to Sam, who Cutie Cinderella, a wonderful creator who should come on the show sometime. We've got to invite her on. Made Sam a birthday cake.
Yeah.
That was Spyro.
That we fucked up. It looked like it was in so much pain by the end of the night.
Well, what happened was Cutie like traveled with the cake. Like I think she
streamed making it.
She streamed making it. Incredible craftsmanship. I thought it was so impressive, but then it didn't survive the travel. And on top of that, there were like 20 of us all picking at it at once, like a flock of crows.
We're starting with the face. Which is the
Yeah.
funniest way to...
So there is a video. We'll see if we can find it to show you of us just like eating this Spyro cake. And it is one of the most visceral, given the fact that it's like like a chocolate and vanilla cake, one of the more viscerally disgusting things I've ever seen.
Gross. We should dub it to make it sound like he's screaming. Like he has no mouth, but he
but
must
with
scream.
the audio quality of like a PS1 disc.
Yeah.
I am ashamed to admit that
You can
one of
only
my
poop with a
former
significant
partners. Yeah, I can only. I actually am the opposite of a shy pooper. I'm a very gregarious pooper.
You FaceTime me. Guess what?
Yeah, I FaceTime somebody like the chin up, and and I'm like, my face is all flushed.
No.
Here it comes. Here comes Johnny.
How do I hang up? I don't remember.
Oh God. So
That was nice.
you can't say that except for on the Patreon.
Fuck.
Yeah. I had a partner who would leave the door open and want me to like be around to talk to them while they were pissing. I don't think pooping. I don't think pooping, but it still was a bit weird.
Well, I will say the pissing in the same, fine. I'm in the shower, they're in a piss.
Yeah, that the shower thing, it's like out of necessity, you know? It's like if you're in a shower and then your partner has to go to the bathroom, knock, 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 can I come in? But this is more like, I felt like I was an emotional support like boyfriend for the bathroom.
Yeah.
Where it was like, oh yeah, come hang out with me while I knock this one out.
One complication with the piss for me, I often...
Splash zone.
Sit. If I can't sit, I squat up or kneel. Like I'm proposing to the toilet.
I was going to say, what does kneeling look like?
Single knee.
Single knee, my liege.
I want to be with you for the rest of my life so I can poop in the same room.
You're like icing the toilet.
I just can't. Toilet water in the US is weirdly high. That's like a fun little nuance here compared to the UK. And as a result, the splash zone is a lot more impactful.
Yeah.
So I'm so used to the far more efficient height of UK toilet water I think
it's disgusting that we stand over a seat and we like pee into it. Like we have to fucking like go through the rings like a Quidditch mini game or something.
And then the rationale is like, yeah, you ladies must be pretty jealous that we can stand up and piss. That's like bragging that I can throw up on my chest. Okay.
Also, you should look into like what happens to the particles when you go to the bathroom and you don't put the seat down.
Yeah. Oh, dude. And if you don't put the lid down before you flush.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So like there are like, you've probably seen them, like these hyper slow-mo, like, and like high, I don't even know. They basically are visualizations of the plume of shit particles that come out of the toilet.
It's like the smoke that comes out of a musket.
Yeah. So put the lid down before you flush.
It's so... I remember when I first learned that, I'm like, oh, that's what it's for.
Yeah. Like it's almost like it's built into the design. But I feel like men are such little freaks that they're just like, yeah, I just want to piss into the big void.
Just like waggling. The kindness they do is pissing in the toilet.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest.
That's you can't hold me down, but the best you can get is I'll try to hit the inside of the toilet. That's what, and I'll miss. I will. I'll hit the rim. God forbid you hit the rim. It ricochets onto the toilet paper. You ruin an entire roll of toilet paper.
Like a Dude Perfect trick shot for ruining the bathroom as much as you can.
Have you ever? I don't know. No, this hasn't happened to me. I thought it had.
This is not just in case this is your first boys only episode. It's not usually this piss oriented.
It's an entirely scatological podcast.
We talk about it a lot.
One of the most violating feelings.
Oh my God.
And this is sad boys.
Nice.
Regular sad boys.
Okay.
Fuck it. I'll say it. You're having a poop.
Ew! You're so weird, dude.
I just got canceled, dude.
If you read "Nobody poops except for you," you little freak.
Fuck. You're having a poop, and you give it a gloop, and by a gloop you mean you do a little drop, and Geronimo, and then it just like blew, and then the splashback
is unacceptable. Yeah,
maybe the most violating feeling for me personally.
May I say another very clean rationale for toilet water height. So toilet water height in the UK is, there's the bowl and then kind of the beginning of the pipe right there at the bottom. The toilet starts about at the top of there. The toilet water starts, which means you can pee on the bowl without hitting the water more easily.
Yeah. Also, we should use bidets.
It's crazy that people don't.
Yeah.
The most expensive thing I have in my house is flushable wipes.
Yeah. I don't have a bidet right now, but I want to get one soon.
Just full communication to people. If you're not using some kind of flushable wipe, you should be showering.
Yeah.
Like it is, if you don't believe that you've got poop on you cope.
Yeah.
It's a cope.
Because flushable wipes are like, it's like a myth that they're flushable. And so like, so it's like tough on pipes and stuff. And so not every, what's the word? Not every sewage system can like handle it. And so I've been like told not to use them, but at the same time I need something. So yeah, it's like you got to shower, you got to like
I would rather destroy my pipes.
Yeah.
What a rush it is.
What a rush.
You know what we should do is we should edit in at the beginning of the episode just like an AI dub of us talking about something else. Just like, hey, what's up, man? I'm okay. What a crazy week we've had.
Yeah, what a crazy week we have had.
Hard cut. Nice.
We're recording this on a Sunday, which is not our normal day. We're recording this ahead of time because our boy is about to set sail.
I'm taking a little trip. I'm going to surprise my mum for her birthday. She doesn't know. Well, she might. I don't know.
Nobody tell.
Nobody. Don't you dare reach out to that lady you don't know how to get in touch with or where she lives or what her full name is.
Don't do it. I know you're trying.
Who wants to know my mother's maiden name? Would that help?
Hold on. Yeah, don't do it. Don't give it out.
I was thinking earlier, if on the walk over, I was thinking about the time that I doxed you on the podcast, but like as a bit before we were streaming it. Were I not to be living with someone now, if it was back, a year ago, whatever, when I was living solo, I would be fine, probably. I think I would do it as a bit and then just see what happens. If I owned the house, no.
Right.
If I was renting, I would just be like, yeah, okay.
I mean, if you live in like a building with enough security.
And I'm also not at like the likelihood that I have a stalker and they live in LA with my number of subs, I feel like is significantly lower than most people I know.
I guess so, but also I feel like you don't want to be in that situation.
We'll find out.
Also, I couldn't find your place even with the address. So
yeah, good luck, mate.
Yeah.
It is truly, it's like trying to navigate a maze. It's like a hedge, it's like a pumpkin patch.
Yeah, right. It's like one of those corn mazes where you're like,
can you find your way out of my apartment?
The answer is no.
And then you get to my front door. Well, fucking Amazon can, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
They truly just treat it like I was tricking them. Like,
Right.
well, I'm just not going to deliver it.
I know. People
You just don't get the thing you paid for.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to. People are just doing their job, but sometimes when people get frustrated with you about where you live or like your address, I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know what the.
I wish I could provide. I've tried like providing the special instructions. I've reached out to UPS for like non-Amazon packages as well, and just been like, I'll take the risk of it getting stolen.
Right.
Just leave it outside.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
if you can't deliver this bulk order of toothpaste, I don't care. I'll
That's
lose
fair.
$15 as opposed to not having toothpaste.
Right. That's fair.
Give me my flushable wipes.
I
dog.
have had a lot of like packages when they're left outside my gate just get swept up, and so it's tough. It's tough out there.
Leave my Papa John's out there. I'll take the risk.
Yeah.
Anybody that takes my Papa John's deserves it for their slyness,
Right.
For their speed.
One time, this is not. Well, actually, I won't say the name. There's a meal service that I use. And one time, and it's the one you're thinking of.
It's baby food.
One time, my box was inside my gate and someone cut opened the box, took all the meals out, and then left. And I was like, holy shit.
That's awesome.
I was like, dude, enjoy, I guess. Fuck.
And that way, even when you go to pick it up, you're like, wow, box seems really working.
Yeah.
That's strong, damn.
Yeah, this is this is a light ass box. No, I saw it like just empty with the like ice packs or whatever in it. And I was like, damn, dude.
They should have taken most and then used like something to stack them up. So it's like putting fake real money on top of.
It's like when you put old like a reseal of a Pokemon box where they like put a bunch of G.I. Joe cards inside.
Oh, is that a thing?
That was the thing that happened to Logan Paul. He
From the guru or whatever.
No, actually, this was a separate time that Logan Paul lost $3 million, where he didn't actually lose the money because he was insured on it. But
And he was like, this gives me a scam, you say? This gives me an idea.
So it was like a sealed case of first edition base set booster boxes, which no one really has seen one. We know that like at least this one guy, Gary King Pokemon or whatever, has in one of his storage units or whatever. He has a box that's sealed, or a case that's sealed allegedly, but one had never come up on the market. And so one came up, but then it had a dubious history. But then Logan Paul bought it, and then people were kind of already like, this seems like it's not the real deal. And so to verify it, Logan opened up the box, and the box contained resealed boxes that had G.I. Joe cards inside. By
the way, if you, I feel like this question is usually asked about like watching athletics and stuff, But if somebody wanted to get into collectibles, like collectible card stuff, and like money's not an object, right? Because if like the spectrum of what you can collect or get interested in with money, like I don't think I could afford to play the real game, like get into the real grading stuff. But if I just wanted to indulge in it for a little bit of fun, you should just start buying booster packs. Is that it?
No, you should actually buy singles, because booster packs are just gambling.
Single cards?
Yeah. So like I would say there's a ton of really cool creators who just open products. Like friend of the show, Ruxin34, he does Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. Pokerev, friend of the show as well, does Pokemon stuff. And
Rhymestyle does collectibles, right? Collectible stuff. Mm-hmm. Does some Dokkan, I think, battle.
Wait, what?
He does like Dokkan battle.
Who's that?
Rhymestyle? Or he does like some of the collectible stuff.
Oh yeah, Rhymestyle does. He has a Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon channel that he doesn't really post on that often, but his stuff as well. Shout out to Rhymestyle, friend of the show as well. And
the three idiots.
Yeah, and if you like any of that content, basically, or if you want to like grab a card, it is accessible. You just have to go on like TCG Player and buy the cards in like light play condition or something, and don't buy graded cards, or if you buy graded cards, buy them at a lower grade, because there is an accessible market. Like you can get like really cool cards for cheap. Some very cool cards are cents. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
You know, and some cards are really just rare because of the grade that they have. And so if you find stuff that you like, there's ways to collect on a budget, and it's a fun hobby. And there's different ways to collect. You can collect art from like different artists. You can open up booster packs. It's fun. Mm-hmm. You can collect art from different artists. You can complete sets.
I guess it is a slightly different hobby when you're not also a creator, or you're not even, because even though like your focus is on publishing them, you do have like, we have a peer group of people that enjoy it, that are posting them, or where it is a priority.
Yeah.
Whereas like big old fucking losers, like a certain Canadian friend of ours, hey, come on now. He's like MrBeast of some regard. I believe. It's one of those types. It would be really interesting to have a MrBeast contemporary. Obviously, MrBeast being on the show would be interesting, but there's a lot of contemporaries of his that are like that, and I would be. It's so
we were
interesting.
talking about Curtis, by the way, not MrBeast.
No, he's Canadian, maybe.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to have someone on and get their experience of seeing MrBeast blow up, and then because there's no way you're not emulating it to a degree. It's like, obviously. Right?
Yeah, I mean, Sneeko is one of them.
Yeah, he's crushing it. The legend of the ratio.
Right.
He's invented like a new version of getting ratioed where the views to like ratio is like criminal, dude.
That is such a funny thing to look at now, because Elon has made views public, or impressions as they're traditionally known. But when you see something that's got like a crazy take online that has like 1 million views and 42 likes, you're like,
so good,
this is incredible.
It's a really cathartic year for dumb internet people to get called out. Like, I don't want to be too optimistic, because there's always the fear of like, the Tate brothers will just get out, or Sneeko, he's got enough of an audience or whatever. But he is being like devastated. Like he is performing so poorly. Rumble is a nothing platform. Yeah. There's no one there, and the ones that aren't spending
it's money. Weird, because it's also like he's continuing to get platformed by people who do have like big audiences, like Aiden Ross and stuff. And I just don't know where that train stops. But I want nothing to do with it.
I mean, not to like I guess there's a pretty direct comparison to a lot of white supremacy stuff in that group, but like the fundamental flaw for white supremacists in white supremacy, or any kind of like domination structure, is that by definition, white supremacists they're exclusionary. That's a thing they do, is get rid of something they don't like, and that is an endless void. So if they succeed and there's no people of color, Italians become the people of color. Right. Italians are taken care of. The Irish become people of color. It is all about like scaling down. Because that's happened before. It's so unsustainable what Aiden is doing, because he's part Jewish. I mean, that like, Nick Fuentes is going to throw you away like an old rag in like
that's
20
minutes. Yeah, that's the weirdest thing, because Nick Fuentes goes online and talks about how he just doesn't like Like the stuff that he says is so anti-Semitic. It's like extreme. And I think he celebrates that he's like willing to go there.
He loves it. He's not you just called anyone you don't like a Nazi. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm a professional Nazi.
No, yeah, which is weird. Yeah.
I'm a JV Nazi.
Yeah, it's
my scholarship came from being a fascist.
Yeah, it's very odd. But
shout outs to being awful.
There was that clip of I think Noah, friend of the show, Noah Sampson, like tweeted that he was like, this is the saddest 56 seconds that I've ever seen. Did you see it? Where it was actually, I don't want to show it because again, I don't want to give too much play to this, but it was Sneeko and some other creators.
Dude.
Yeah. There was like, we're going to do push-ups or something. And Aiden Ross was there as well. And was like, he's like, they were like, let's do push-ups. And then Sneeko starts doing some like half push-ups or whatever. And then Aiden stops and he's like, oh no, chat's saying it's cringe, so I can't do it. And it's like, that's so funny.
Oh man. Feels good though. Feels good for them though. Because a lot of these people also only care about how they're perceeve. It's got nothing to do with the quality of their content.
Literally, if you see chat going, actually, that's cringe. It's like, oh, okay, then I won't. I don't have independent wants or thoughts or needs. It's really just like whether or not chat says pog or cringe.
Yeah. Also, they don't see me as a real human being, which I usually benefit from. But right now, stop.
In this moment, yeah.
Please.
It's a double-edged sword.
That's why it's easier to kind of be beloved. You know what I mean?
Be unproblematic kings, actually.
Yeah, actually be epic bacon.
That's what I am.
I even with the me and Ethan collab from a year ago or whatever, which was the Jordan Peterson watching stuff, which deserves a sequel now that he has become an even greater cartoon of himself.
I don't know, dude. I saw him tweet some stuff.
God, he's so funny now, bro. He's so funny. He saw his platform, at least on some subconscious level, he saw himself kind of gradually drifting because he doesn't have the like, I keep getting older, but high schoolers stay the same age kind of thing where like there's always new Cocomelon viewers, you know? Yeah. Jordan Peterson's viewers are just getting older and nobody's filtering in. Right. And he sees that on some subconscious level and he wants to hang with the homies. He's like, I need to get back on Joe Rogan. Now I'm wearing a funny suit. Me and Ben should hang out more. But Shapiro's not replying to him. He's like, yeah, maybe next weekend or whatever. And so he's like, okay, we'll post wild and then say that it then like racistly apply it to an entire country.
Exactly. But then I'm also concerned a little bit because he will like slur his words in a tweet. Like, did you see that one where he literally just like said a bunch of gibberish at the end of a tweet? And I was like, does this not concern anyone else?
Fall asleep on the keyboard?
Yeah, no, that's like what it looks like. And I'm like, okay, maybe this isn't as fun to like, I mean, it's funny to make fun of because this person is actively harmful and they're spreading harmful misinformation. But on the other hand, I'm like, is this guy okay?
Well, it's actually kind of a Kanye thing for me where I'm like, first of all, I find it a little offensive sometimes when people attribute too much of like bipolar to Kanye's actions.
Right.
Because that's just like,
because
bipolar makes you insane.
There's tons of people with bipolar who are not like
not also Nazis.
Yeah.
And it's especially in the case of Jordan Peterson, everything that he's doing, the worse he gets, the worse any of those guys get, is just the logical endpoint of what they were always doing. Right. It's not like, oh, well, now Jordan Peterson, something about the benzos made him a racist.
Right.
No, they just made him a louder racist.
Yeah.
A more confident racist that can't type.
Yeah, because it's like, I think that this happens with any sort of neuroatypical people. I think that when they are publicly dealing with something, it becomes the whole story and like an excuse for behavior, right?
Sure. Now it's attributable to mental illness, but anything you're suffering from, like some kind of trauma, that's bullshit. That doesn't exist. Why are you complaining about it?
So what do you mean go to therapy? Just think different thoughts. Like stop thinking about it. So what do you like? Just don't be depressed.
No, I'm scared. I can't go to therapy because then they'll bring up that insane dream I had about my grandma that I won't even repeat. Do you remember that?
No.
In one of his books, he tells a story that like, I don't even encourage, well, if you're over 18, go and read it, because this was actually before he ended his like truly deranged period, before the sequel era that we're now in. Yeah. Post Twitter jacket or whatever.
Oh, right.
It's the most unhinged tweet I've ever seen. Why would you? It's Sneeko saying, like he did with the other day with, hey, never go to orgies with your.
Yeah.
Like, why are you writing? Why are you writing this?
Yeah. It almost felt like he was trying to be in on the. It always kind of feels like the I'm not owned stuff where it's like, oh, I'm in on the joke, and it's like,
I'm actually laughing. Yeah. Standing in the corner of the party, pissing himself.
Yeah, because it's like
nobody knows I get it.
Because Charlie was like, also you defend cuties and all this other stuff, and he's like,
it was a psych.
Yeah, actually, I was joking. I was memeing, and you, it's bait. Oh, can I talk about how much I hate that? I hate how when someone has a bad take online, people are like, this is just bait.
Oh, wow.
It's like, because the worst thing is like anything that's a trap or bait, like it absolves you of any consequence. Mm-hmm. Like actually that bad opinion was you fell for the trick.
The new brand is anybody with like 8 numbers at the end of their username. You go on their account and it's like, yeah, if you're reading this, I got you.
Yeah.
But the tweet that got you through there was like, does anybody know where sex happens?
Yeah.
Which hole is for me?
I'm having trouble.
I got you.
Oh my God. The thing I wanted to address is the clip of him with Adam 22 talking about how gross vaginas are. And I was like, this is the wildest shit I've ever seen. Why are you saying this out loud? It's basically like, I'm grossed out because girls have cooties. Like, and sucking dicks is normal. And,
I don't like cooties. I like cuties.
Is bad.
I love cuties. I hate cooties.
Yeah, there you go.
And I hate cooters.
And also, like, it's such a weird thing that all these like hyper masculine dudes are like, yeah, I don't pleasure my girl.
Oh yeah, dude.
I don't, sorry, my partner's sexual satisfaction.
Kind of gay.
Yeah.
You think? Kissing a girl?
Fellas, is it gay to please your partner?
Yeah. Oh, I want to kiss a nice soft girl. Bro.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't want to get to, Sad Boys Nights on this podcast.
Oh, yeah. You want to hear a little bit more of that? Sign up for the $5 tier or above at patreon.com/sadboys.
What he said. The Patreon's been going super well, by the way. We've got a really supportive community in there. Thank you to everybody who's supporting us.
You did send me that interesting tweet the other day that was somebody just like, wow, I'm never used to the comments being so nice.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Moving through the Patreon comments, and when you read comments on YouTube, it is like a deep methodical breath between like, that one was okay. That one was nice. Actually.
Yeah. You're with bated breath on every comment.
And then you see,
you're like wincing, like you're about to get a shot, you know?
When you see like a 1 to 2 paragraph,
oh my God.
It's like getting a block of gray text when you wake up in the morning and it's like, okay, this is either like Jarvis needs to end the podcast or Jarvis has great news.
Right. No, it's like praise. It's like, it's either praise or the worst take you've ever heard.
Oh, dude. When you get a Slack, you look at your Slack and it has 40 messages and they're all from your manager.
Oh, no.
Like, what's going on? And they're just only writing a sentence at a time.
It's like the equivalent of the like, hey, do you have time to chat?
Days in advance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a war crime.
Yeah,
true. That's like truly cruel.
It's the we need to talk text.
Dude. Is it about breaking up? Because we can do that right now.
Yeah. Do you just, if you need to break up with me, tell me.
Yeah. We need to talk about breaking up in a week.
Yeah.
It's criminal, man. And I have called out, it wasn't like a recent break. It was a breakup a couple of years ago. I don't know how specific I want to be. A breakup in the past. Mm-hmm. The catalyst for like
at the place that we can't name.
At your old address, which is that's the current one. There was the foundation for a breakup was somebody saying we need to talk, and it was they were not breaking up with me. They were like they just had like an issue we need to talk about.
Yeah.
And I gave the feedback of like, this is hurtful. Yeah. Because this happened before and I've given you that feedback.
Yeah.
You're doing this to make me feel anxious.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that is like emotionally inconsiderate and I don't think I want to be together.
In a way. Yeah. I think it's like,
it's so much worse.
Especially if you have the context of like, if you had the conversation of, hey, this cannot like really make me anxious and stuff. then doing it knowingly feels like inconsiderate. Charitably.
And it's not like front porching it where I'm like, oh, I'm not as bothered by this feedback now that I knew it was coming for 3 days.
Yeah.
And I catastrophized all the worst things. And then the feedback literally was like on the tier of, I want you to respond to text more.
Oh, yeah.
Which you can't send over text. No. I wouldn't reply.
No, you can't. Right. You wouldn't see it. You have to send. The only text that'll get a response out of you is we need to talk.
I don't know if this is a Knights tier, like, not like a warrior in the medieval period. Sad Boys Knights, the bonus episode, Sad Boys. I don't know if this is like something we want to put behind the paywall a little bit, because maybe it's like a little too up and about. Mm-hmm. But what is your most common dating blocker? Like the thing that has shut down? I don't necessarily mean like didn't connect over this or the vibes were off. The like 3 to 4 dates in, oh, there's this unbridgeable like gap.
I think I don't even know how to classify this behavior. So I'll tell you something that happened and then we can work backwards and figure out what happened. Or like how to, like what kind of red flag it is.
Kind of inductive reasoning.
Yeah. So I did not give too many details away. Went to a party. And at the party,
I like what I'm hearing.
I at the time of going to this party, I had gone on 2 dates with someone. And at the party, I saw a friend who I had like really was just meeting in person for the first time. And they said, hey, can we take a picture together? Mm-hmm. And so we took a picture together. And then they also took pictures with other people who were at the party. And then they put all of those pictures in in an Instagram post, with the slide. What is it called when it's like multiple photos on Instagram?
It's called cheating. It's called you cheating on the person you were.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like a photo with Jarvis, a photo with some other creators, a photo with other large creators on the internet, and
other incredibly like banger funny kind of. I was not in the photos.
No. So. I got a text after this friend posted this photo of her amongst friends and goes, if you're seeing someone else, just tell me.
It's so funny. It's so insane.
And I was like, pardon?
Nani?
I was like, what do you mean? And it was like, you took a photo with this girl and then she posted a whole slideshow. And I was like, of her with other people. We were in group photos of like, and also in what universe am I like cheating on someone like, or like really trying to play somebody and letting post it, like letting them post like I'm Instagram official with somebody else. Like it's just, but it made me feel like my female friendships, when someone makes me feel, when someone makes me feel like they're threatened by my female friendships, because this is just a friend. It's like, if I can't be trusted by someone I'm dating, that like the women who I'm friends with are just friends. Yeah. Then that's definitely a red flag.
I think it's a like sign of disrespect to not be trusted by someone that doesn't even really know you. Yeah. Like some people would feel the opposite. Like, well, I don't know if I can trust them. I don't come to people with the assumption that they're untrustworthy. And I think it speaks to a certain worldview that I find a bit off-putting and like a lack of self-soothe. Like to also text that,
it's passive aggressive.
Not to feel it and then consider it.
Or to ask it as a question.
It's just inconsiderate. Like I
think that there's ways to, if you have, so I want to normalize, like, it's okay to have anxieties. It's okay to like express those to someone you're dating. But the presumption and the like combativeness of it when I had done nothing wrong felt very like unfair. And also like, if you want to have a conversation, we can have a conversation, but I understand that those things come from personal experience, but you still have to be responsible for your actions. And like hey, I don't want you taking photos with any other woman because I'm going to presume that person is someone you're romantically involved with, is just not okay with me.
Yeah, that sounds bad. That's a very bad plate to have to spin 3 dates in.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, it would be one thing if we had conversations about this, if I had given this person any reason to like be distrustful of me specifically, but we were just getting to know each other. And also, that's why I'm single.
Did any point in that partnership say that things would be exclusive?
No, never. It was literally like, it was so early. Like it was so 2 dates in.
Oh, man, I also look, okay, I don't know if this is a base take or not. Most of what I said in general is like fucking fire, and I don't tend to miss, and I don't know where the letter M is for miss, and I don't know where L is for taking it. The only letter in the alphabet is W, actually, that I see, if you can believe that. Or Z for Dragon Ball. If
someone can help me find the other letters, though, please.
Who's to say? All I need is the dub, it turns out. All I need
is the dub. You just speak in W's?
Actually, nobody else can find the W because I took it.
Oh, yeah. And all they've got left is L's.
All I can take it, yeah. Everyone turn the podcast off. I don't think that bad previous relationship experience with being cheated on is a reasonable precedent for that either. Listen, I think it's okay to be, as you said, anxious.
Yeah.
But just as it would be unreasonable for me to get extremely angry because I had previously like very angry, contentious relationships. It is look, you can do it and hopefully you have a reasonable partner. I've had people be jealous and doubtful and then communicate it in an okay-ish way and us get to talk about it. But you are an adult and you're responsible for the things you say and do out loud. And if the consequence you're worried about is me not wanting to talk to you anymore, then I'm not going to change. I'm not your fucking therapist. You are going to be like, there are consequences to you doing this.
There are consequences.
Because this shit I'm not doing through self-control.
Right.
I am being the grown up.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's like I want, I think I'm the line I'm trying to toe is like, I want to like allow space to be like an imperfect partner or an imperfect person. But when you're like essentially talking to a stranger and then you can start to feel like someone's being, because maybe me feeling like it's like a little controlling to like get something like that. Maybe that's a concern I have from previous relationships. But
I would be concerned about if they're this poor a communicator with me, what are they going to be like with my female friends at a party?
Right. Or just like, or if this is a thing right now that's coming up that's pretty minute and pretty cut and dry, that it's like totally normal. It's like this person posted fun with friends and I'm in one of 9 photos with this person.
And now I need to play the pronoun game when we're talking about who I'm hanging out with.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go and hang out with a gender neutral named person.
Right.
She identifies as a girl, by the way.
Yeah,
but in an okay way.
What you mean by that is not like a anti-pronoun thing.
No, I'm an attack helicopter.
Now I have to play the pronoun, but you just mean like
it's a classic term for avoiding pronouns so that your partner is not jealous, having to like play a game for their benefit.
Yeah, you just don't want to feel. You want to feel like a psychological safety in a relationship.
It makes you feel guilty.
Yeah, for just having normal, healthy relationships.
Yeah, you did a normal thing and they were going to send you to jail for it. So now it's like, well, shit, okay, I just won't.
Yeah,
what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, that's
it's also very bold.
It's
like, if I would have text that, I would be like, oh, it's over. Like, there's no way I can do this and it's not. Has that worked before? Like, that has,
I know.
You've dated people, said that, and it slid off the back?
The response to it was like, I think I just sort of said my piece about it. And then they were like, well, if I'm wrong, then I apologize. And I'm like,
I just told you you are. You are wrong.
If you're wrong, then you apologize. I'm like, so I just don't think that even if you were like just taking they're like, I took a wild guess. And if I'm wrong, hey, I'll own up to it.
That's my truth.
Yeah. Hey. But I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah. If you say that about anything else, if you're like, hey, man, just my opinion. What can I say?
And if I'm wrong,
I'm sorry you feel upset about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Soy piss baby.
Right.
That's the most common. Oh, like that kind of thing is the most common.
It came up a few times in a row.
You just keep taking photos with women.
Yeah, I gotta stop doing that. It's also just a thing of like, and I have to say that like women online get this way worse than I do, or at least like I think that men at large do. But speaking from my own personal experience,
I think dating writ large is like a far more hazardous and stressful thing. Yeah.
But if I'm ever on camera with a woman, people are going to assume that we're together, or they're going to ship us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is uncomfortable, because it's like, I was talking to a friend of mine, like sort of a female friend of mine, and she was like, am I going to have to change my behavior when, you know, I'm around guys on camera, because people are just going to, and it's like, you should have the safety to like be yourself without having people from afar, you know, try to go like, you two should get together or something like that. I don't want to give too many specifics, but like,
yeah, sure. Or even like endorse the comments, acknowledge that we're even seeing them or engaging with them. I
had someone.
It's a little fetishy as well. It's like fetishizing people. It speaks to a lack of understanding of community. Speaks to the fact that you probably don't have any friends of the identity that you are attracted to.
Yeah,
like, you probably don't have any female friends. That's the assumption.
Someone I was dating saw me interact with a friend, and then was like, I bet you two have been intimate together before.
What are you doing?
And I'm like, what is happening right now?
Just what if you could be insane but be polite? You're allowed to.
I'm like,
think
what
crazy
is
things.
happening right now? This is like so strange.
Am I too tactful? Am I being manipulative by not saying my insane thoughts out loud?
Yeah, like literally.
If you're a lizard in skin, in human skin, you have to tell me. If I'm wrong, I apologize.
I was going to throw another weird hypothetical at you. If you had to turn into an animal, like right now.
No.
Oh, you would say no?
Yeah, I don't want to do that at all.
Which would you pick if you had to? I'm an evil wizard and it's happening.
Is there a skill? Oh, do I have intellect of Jordan? Oh, and do I turn back at some point?
No.
Because I guess I wouldn't care because I'm a beast.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, like, but you get to, it's your last wish before you get to turn into an animal. It's like, what animal do you get to go be?
I'll be one of those dogs that knows how to use buttons to communicate.
You'd be like Bunny.
I'd be a Flambeau, yeah.
Yeah, like where
I want that hilarious button that they have. These are typically, like TikTok, YouTube dogs.
Yeah.
That will have a collection of like 20 or so buttons that say things like people, person, walk, snack, cuddle.
Yeah.
And they always have the funny one, which is, huh?
I think the funniest ones to me are they'll be like, what is dog?
Who has soul?
Yeah, exactly. So I think you would be the one, you would be one of those animals that goes, I am trapped. I once was a podcaster.
And you're looking around nervously.
Yeah.
Putting your wand away.
Yeah. Can we go on walk?
To police?
Yeah. I used to love walking as human.
Please call 911. Why do I have these?
Please. My dog keeps saying, please change me back.
Yeah, please. Curtis, help me. Next time he's on the show.
Yeah.
There's no time.
There's no time.
I'm aging in dog years.
He did this to me. Jarvis
Johnson. URL is youtube.com.
Yeah. Oh,
so
fun.
many buttons.
This is so, how did they, it's a QWERTY keyboard.
Yeah. Or I guess I would be something epic bacon, like a friggin' falcon.
Oh, yeah.
A bird of prey is such a cool way.
Bird of prey is very cool.
How about you?
Damn. I think I would also be a dog.
What about a bug?
What?
A little bug.
A bug?
Yeah.
No. I feel like my lifespan would be super short and everyone would hate me and I would feel it, even though I can't.
Yeah.
Even though I can't think, like I probably don't have a brain that can do that.
You don't even have the mass to press buttons.
No.
You have to fly so hard into.
Imagine, you're a cockroach is like trying to press the buttons. Like, please, I have a family.
What happened? A witch's curse.
No, not the spray. This is my nom.
I pissed in a witch's cauldron and she did this to me.
Damn. That's real.
Jacob, what creature what grand beast would you become?
Oh, I get cat vibes.
A simple and correct answer. Yeah.
Way.
You could lie down in the sun for a calendar year.
Yeah.
Like you just. Yeah, anything that can ponder.
Jordan, I want to ask you something. This is gonna sound weird.
Oh.
Can you read this sentence?
It's like anytime somebody asks you to read, and you're like, what do I sound like?
It's funny because
it's
because I literally, it's just the words, let's get started. And you were treating it like I asked you to like figure out a hieroglyph.
There's a slur in between each word that I feel like I can't.
I guess I did kind of give it away with this thing right here.
Let's get started.
That's how I would expect you to say it.
Hey, right. Let's get it going.
So, okay.
No time to waste.
I realized that, we've been friends for a long time. And there's a very old video of mine that you had a little cameo in. And you say exactly this line.
Which video is that? Oh, is it? It's literally a very quick cameo. Like I appear.
Yeah. And I just want you to, let's
get started. Oh, is that, wait, let me guess. Wait, I know what it's like. Is it, let's get started? Like I enunciate more?
Let's see.
Okay.
Which is something I've struggled with for a long time. Hey, I've struggled with that a lot too. Hey, man, let's not forget about Mike.
I hate this, by the way.
He's trying to talk. Guys, this isn't even the right imposter syndrome. Get out of here. All right, let's get started.
Yeah, yeah, boys.
Let's get started.
Where's your Invisalign?
Let's get started.
Let's get started. Yeah.
Let's get started.
With every day not in tech anymore, the T's drift away.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of dig how you sound now. This guy was like, who's this guy?
I think I'm just more comfortable. I mean, you just get sick of people saying, huh?
Yeah.
Like repeating stuff. Plus, so if anybody wants to know what I sounded like, if you watch the In-Betweeners, I sounded like Simon, the kind of default one, not the posh Will and not wacky Jay. I sounded like Simon.
All of the words you're saying right now sound like a fucking foreign language.
I
wasn't wacky Jay or slime ball or whatever.
Slime ball, bing bong, yeah. No, I used to. I think a lot of people here, they know posh or they know Cockney. Mm-hmm. They basically just know anything that's like in Chernobyl, the TV show,
Oh, hello there.
Oh, all right. Yes, master. Well,
it's just like this sound.
Apples and pears. Oh yeah, like a Guy Ritchie movie called like Crunk the Wonkers. Like, you best be getting order for night.
What you guys talking about?
Go water wee woo. I'm King Arthur. But I remember it made me really insecure at one point because in my like first year at Patreon, there was some posh, I was about to say C word. I'll leave that for nights.
Oh shit.
Cracker.
Oh frick.
No,
you said it.
The one that the Americans
They're here, the police.
Like, that you guys don't see.
The Twitch police.
There was some, yeah, like, and he was posh and he was visiting from the UK, and he was like, yeah, I can tell you're starting to lose your accent, which is very fucking annoying, by the way, because you're wrong. For people to say. You like don't know. You don't know that. You are not traveled. You haven't lived in both countries. Like,
yeah, there are a lot of people who just don't know. Like, people
so rude.
People like to think they know things, like when people think you're Australian and stuff.
Or it's the same type of person that's like starts speaking like you at a party and then is like, yeah, I just start doing I just pick up accents, I guess. That's not a fun trait.
No.
It's annoying. It's an annoying way to be.
It's how do you feel about people who, when you're talking, and we have friends like this, you'll be saying something and they just start finishing your sentences with you?
Oh, incorrectly.
Often incorrectly.
Finishing your sandwiches.
Yeah. But it'll literally be like, I'm going to go get some lunch.
And
then
light out.
Yeah, and they just say it at the same time.
A lighter to smoke.
And I'm like, why are you doing that?
Some
Stop
lunch.
That.
Yeah.
Let me fucking finish my own thoughts.
You know who knows the answer is me. I'm saying it right now.
Stop. And I think a lot of people who do it unconsciously.
I think a lot of people a lot of people just anyone will work with, especially in our kind of age demo and work background, I guess, have read that they need to be active listeners and active communicators and have misunderstood that to just be louder and more.
It's also different than if, someone is struggling for a word or pausing to think of a word. I will usually be like, hang on, I got it, or something like that. But if it's in a casual conversation and you throw out a word, I don't have an issue with that. I have an issue with like when you're talking, they're saying it alongside you.
Oh, I don't want to be nervous about taking that pause.
Yeah.
Because also, if you suggest a word and it's wrong, thought's gone. Whatever I was going to say is completely dissolved. If I ever do it with you, in the case of the podcast or vice versa or whatever, I notice that we give each other about 10 to 20 seconds. It is like enough time.
We do give ourselves space.
We know we've forgotten it, as opposed to just like buffering, you know, like just shutting the laptop because the thing's not playing immediately. Right. I feel that way about people saying, yeah, sure, as your sentences end. Like, agree. Like, it'd be like if after every slide in a slideshow, you're like, okay, yeah, that's what I like to see.
I think I do this a little bit. Like, I will do a lot of and then I'll do a lot of yeah, but I do think it's spaced throughout. But the goal is to say like, I am listening, but it's not after every little thing.
Or to validate a point that is maybe they don't know if they're expressing it correctly, or maybe it's complicated, or they're clearly coming to the end of a run. I just can't. I had somebody I used to manage at a previous place I worked. It was feedback that I gave them because it was their first critical communication job. Like they had to learn email formatting. Right. You forget that that's like a thing you have to learn.
That is
how to communicate. Also be more concise in like text documents, and it's just little nuances that nobody is born with, and there's no shame in adapting. But they became an excellent communicator. But at one point, just post college, like give me a couple lines, or just give me like a paragraph.
Oh, so I had a great meeting with Joe.
Sure.
Oh, okay. That's hard.
Oh, it's far away.
Can't.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So so me and Mark are gonna have lunch, and then we're gonna talk about. I can't even keep going.
Big Mark. Yeah. Mark loves to eat. What can I say?
Okay. Yeah. No. So anyway, I was thinking of quitting.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Quitting job, quitting the work. Yeah.
Quitting the work. Yeah. Oh, that's
Mark
funny.
will do that. He'll do that. Oh, dude, that's the other thing is, and I really do think it's like you just got to be careful listening to GaryVee and careful reading how to make friends and influence people or whatever.
Dale Carnegie.
You've got to just be cautious with the active listening part, because sometimes it is just like, oh, I need to prove that this conversation's working.
Right.
And it's just like, yeah, I'm getting married. Matrimony. Yeah. To wife or otherwise. Yes. Yeah. I don't know your sexual orientation or who you tend to date, but yeah, that one.
Right. And I was just trying to get a word in edgewise, and you
jumping in there. Yeah. A lot of podcasts are like that, to be fair.
That's true. I mean, even when you were saying that, I was like, right, like in the middle of it, but I felt like it, you know.
I think there's like that's what's complicated. It's not always wrong.
Right.
It's like bad.
I just did it. Yeah.
It's like bad improv, right? It's just it's okay to jump in sometimes, but not when the foundations are being built. Like, I'm at the hospital. I'm built. You are at the hospital. Yeah, but there's a dinosaur too.
Yeah.
We're building a fire. The classic.
I feel like we might be calling out people, much like in the last episode where I called out people for watching things at 2x speed. I said,
as deserved.
As deserved. I think
you want to get back into it. Actually,
a lot of people were like, well, I have ADHD, so this is how. And I'm like, we also like we were on with Nick, and I was like, all three of us have diagnosed ADHD. And that's all, but I also did say you're valid. You're valid in how you are.
You're weird and valid. It's fine.
I just personally, there's just a certain cadence to speech and stuff that I suppose the people, from what I've read from their many, many comments, it's like very just difficult for them to focus. And this is the only way that they can focus. The way I saw that problem is by not watching those things at all. So I avoid. It's why I don't read as much as I should, because I get so bored.
Yeah.
But then every time I see one of those things that's like, we invented a new way to read, and we just like flick the words at your face and they just like get fucking injected into your brain. I'm like, hey, if I could do that, I would read a lot more, because that's like it's hard to ignore.
You're very valid in it. I think what is weird is more when I listen to something at even 1.5x speed, I'm distracted by the fact that I'm listening to something at 1.5x speed.
Right.
Like, yeah, I get distracted easily, so I play it extremely loud and it shakes the windows in my house, and like all I'm thinking about is that like the glasses are falling off my shelves
I
and
think
shit.
of my eardrums rattling out of my fucking head.
I am that way with some like audiobooks. I really I am that way with somebody. With audiobooks and stuff. At one point I was really into them and I really was enjoying myself. But some narrators are maybe a little too methodical with it, and I'm sure if I were more flexible, I would. It's kind of like the dubs v subs thing with anime.
Yeah.
Where I am, if I could get over my fucking pride, or was less distracted by bad dubs, I would watch so much more anime. Because I don't look at the screen the whole time. Like I just can't. To sit down, even Chainsaw Man, I'm way behind on it. Because I'm like, I kind of want to be cleaning, or I kind of want to be doing something. I'm going insane, by the way. I want to be playing Destiny. Oh, I don't. Not anymore. I've quit. I'm sober.
Oh, okay. Another thing I wanted to...
Oh, Destiny the game. Sorry, not the watching Destiny the streamer, by the way. I should be very clear. Destiny 2. TOO.
That's all that needs to be said about that.
Blue hair pronouns.
So I wanted to show you something which I found on Twitter, but I can't find the original tweet about it because it was one of those situations where somebody just... The caption is like, I found the worst thing ever or whatever. And then it's this.
I'll just leave this here.
Yeah, exactly. These people don't deserve platforms.
I dislike them. I don't like them at all. It's time to kill.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to show you this without any context.
I didn't see the tweet. I literally don't know what this is. Looks like an influencer.
Sammy, what's the best part of your day? Daily gratitude. How do you practice gratitude? Journaling. What is your word for the day? Alignment. Favorite part of nature? Sunshine. Favorite ways to practice self-love? Taking care of myself. About and can't wait to share more of? Nutrition. What's for lunch today? A Buddha bowl. And what's next for form? You'll find out really soon.
What's your favorite way of taking care of yourself? It's probably taking
care of myself.
Yeah.
That's the other.
Or the best way of loving yourself. Doing it.
Doing in love with myself.
Love-wise.
I just felt that there is this kind of like Gwyneth Paltrowification of like wellness where it's been like turned into this very like wealthy, like kind of hard to access. Like it feels like there's been this like paywall and class thing put over like general well-being, and it's got I don't even know how to put words to it. I'm still trying to formulate it in my own head, but this felt like a sketch.
Yeah, this feels like a joke based on the 73 questions things.
It is, yeah. And I
house.
think that this is like that was what they were going for, but then it just feels like. And I could be completely out of pocket here. It just feels like nothing is happening.
She's recording it in the villa from The Godfather.
Yeah, it's always in like Tulum or whatever.
I think that it's interesting to see that it's almost like a gender presentation flip of Rise and Grind GaryVee culture.
Yeah.
Where aggression is here replaced with like calm
wellness
stoicism.
and yeah.
It's like, my mindset is so meditative that like, I don't even have feedback or ideas for you. I'm just, it's almost like a dog whistle to people that know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Like, a Buddha bowl.
A Buddha
but
bowl.
what are you eating?
Yeah.
What is that? I don't understand.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the initial tweet, but I'm struggling because maybe it was just a friend of mine who posted. Oh, here it is.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it was Mooncat or Moonacat. Because she said, I hate when I'm just wandering around my villa, mic'd up, full makeup, about to tuck into a fat Buddha bowl, and someone harasses me in the camera, asking my favorite way to practice self-love, and I have to align all the chakras in my body to resist the urge to masturbation.
One thing that's always a little uncomfortable about this, a lot of the terminology and wellness stuff, is that there is a lot of religious terminology and cultural appropriation.
There
that comes
is.
with like, I'm aligning my chakras. And that's not like Your chakras isn't like your core. It's not like your obliques that I'm trying to get in place. It is like
my biceps.
It is a spiritual, lifelong pursuit and maintenance. And it's just like, well, I grew up in a town where a lot of white people wore bindis on their forehead.
Wow.
A lot of people. Because they just love the culture, man. It's like people that say that they love Eastern medicine and they mean like turmeric or something.
This is, I don't know how people are going to take this. I went to a coffee shop today. There's a nice woman there who said, "Oh, I love your hair." White woman. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Oh, thank you."
It wasn't to a friend or something.
No, it was to me. And I was like, this is a compliment, but it feels coded.
Yeah.
It feels like, I don't know how to put it, but it made me uncomfortable because she kept kind of, sometimes people give you compliments that like make you feel like you're a piece of meat a little bit sometimes.
Literally objectifying.
Yeah, like literally objectifying in a way that it was like, I'm just going to be nice, right? But afterward, it was very similar. Okay, a different thing happened to me yesterday where I accidentally cut someone off, but in
traffic.
But everyone was moving very slowly.
Okay.
And I actually thought the car next to me was parked because I thought, sometimes people will park on one of the lanes on like the rightmost lane. And sometimes during certain hours, it won't be available. So I made a mistake, but this car wasn't moving. And I slowly started to like turn and realize they were moving. No one was at risk. And we were moving at like 3 miles per hour. Right. But the guy like looked at me and I looked at the like sort of anger in his face and he goes, "Fuck you." And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I don't even know, like, to do that, you must have assumed that I had ill intent.
Or almost like a privilege. I would love to be so confident in my hate. Like to escalate to that level of fighting.
Like it felt racially motivated, like the anger in his eyes. And I don't think it was. I hope it wasn't. But I was just like, I can't like just something happened and me go, "Hey, fuck off." And I was like, oh gosh.
It takes so many steps to get me to conflict.
And
not
maybe,
that I'm afraid of conflict. There's just I will assume the best of someone.
It's just very upsetting to me to have an old white man make a very foul face and tell me, like, be mean to me.
We also have a lifetime of people wanting to touch hair.
Yeah. So there's a sensitivity here. And I've also had like drive-bys where people like call me the N-word and like keep driving and stuff. And so
me, just checking in. Hey.
But that's for Sad Boys Nights. I don't know why I told that story.
Well, you were talking about the woman objectifying.
Oh yeah. It's just like these weird little happenings yesterday where I was like, cause you know what it is? It's like, there's this brand of like, kind of granola white lady where they have like they have locks in their hair, you know what I mean? And I'm like, okay. And then
it comes from a place of love.
It comes from a place of love.
Because actually, I love all black people. I love type.
It's like Carmen from, I felt like she was about to call me a beautiful creature. You know what I mean? Like that's what it felt like when she was telling
a flashback.
Yeah. Like it wasn't like she said, "Oh, I love your hair." And that was nice. But I'm also like, my hair was like super nappy. Like it was just like, not like my hair wasn't done. And so it just, it's kind of like, if someone said like, "Hey, love your shoes," and you were wearing like ratty old like tennis shoes, you know? And
it's also like, look, I
could be projecting. I could be projecting. I will admit that.
Okay. The most charitable read I'll give is that you're tactless, this person, because you must know this cliche, right?
It is a cliche, yeah.
It is 2023. It's time to sit your ass down and listen. Because they, at the very least, self-preservation wise, politeness wise, you have to know not to say that. I don't care. You live in California, dog. There's no way you've just been saying this for this long.
But there is a brand of person, and I feel like I am unfairly painting with a broad brush when I say this, but it feels very similar to one of my friends is in town from New York and was like all on like the super west side of LA and went to like a wellness center thing with their friend who is now doing like who's now leading like Reiki stuff. And then they were there and they were like, it made me genuinely uncomfortable because like these guys were coming up to me and they were like, are you feeling Saturn right now? Like, I mean, crazy, right? Like we all share this experience. Oh, by the way, what's your big three? And that's like something I know from, you know, I guess dating in LA where it's like your big three, like on signs or whatever.
Yeah. That's what the person that I went on that date with that brought their snake said.
What?
She was a marketing consultant plus met him in the Phils that I used to go to every day in San Francisco. I really messed up. I never reached out, never had a follow-up date, but she did bring her, I don't know, 2 foot long, thin Kenyan snake, which was named, I forget
Kenyan.
the name, but it was a Kenyan name, which is interesting. Okay. Interesting choice.
Adika.
Well, yeah, I will say most Kenyan names are just like the most biblical first name you've ever heard, and then just a word that nobody knows how to spell outside of Kenya. Yeah, it's just like Peter Odiambo, but you're supposed to say it with a TH. Yeah. It was so sick that she brought the snake, and it's such a bummer that I made zero emotional connection with this marketing consultant / Reiki healer.
Right.
Shout outs.
But
Hope the snake's still alive.
My friend who was also a white woman was like, I like just truly did not connect. Like, it was just like, I felt like a fish out of water here. And that's kind of how I feel watching this content. Cause I'm like, it does feel like the GaryVee for like a different type of person, right? Because I'm like, Gwyneth Paltrow got into a bunch of hot water recently. No pun intended. Got into a bunch of bone broth recently.
Yeah, she really got into kind of Buddha bowl from what I remember.
Where is the Gwyneth Paltrow clip? Fuck.
Such ghoul.
I was about to say, how do you spell Gwyneth Paltrow? Like Goop, Gwyneth Paltrow's company, has gotten into a bunch of trouble constantly over the years. For like, I think kind of just being the like capitalist extreme of this kind of ideology. It is the perfect exemplar of what we're talking about. Yeah. And the most well-known and most kind of affluent and impactful because it's attached to Gwyneth Paltrow. Yeah. Where the Avengers is popular, you know, Goop. Yeah. I just feel like, I always feel weird speaking about this because I don't like really think it's my place to speak on it. But I do find it interesting. And so I will tell you what other people said.
I think we can speak at least a little bit to cultural and racial fetishizing, which is the foundation, I think, of a lot of, wellness culture. It's where a lot of the terminology comes from. It's why yoga is such a significant part of it. Right. It's not like, no, I'm not doing Pilates. That's not spiritual. Yeah. I'm teaching yoga, which is a religion also for me.
Yeah. And I just if people want to let us know more,
and you will. In fact,
we are open. Like, it's not like we're super close-minded about this. But this,
don't watch stuff on 2x speed.
that's our one line. But no, if you do that, that's okay. We do really support you. So there's this clip that went around. It's like, what is your wellness routine look like? Mm-hmm. Okay, is the question.
Also, wait, what is wellness as a term has always given me. It's always given me the vibe of like a synonym for what it should actually be called. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like wellness feels so marketing oriented as a phrase. What is it? What's a synonym for that? What is any other version of it? It's like rise and grind. What is the wellness version of that?
Yeah.
What is it? Why is it wellness?
Wellness has kind of been taken over a little bit.
It's like how a lot of like dispensaries before full legalization of weed would call themselves like medicine. Yeah. It'd be like medicine or treatment.
Or something is like a plant milk.
People that aren't, say, like training for a boxing event, they're just working out, call it training.
Oh, yeah. Like, what are you training for?
I'm training
the event.
For, going outside.
Yeah, I'm training.
The summer.
I'm training for the event. Okay, so there's two parts to this story.
Routine look like now?
I eat dinner early in the evening. I do a nice intermittent fast. I usually eat something about
12. And in the morning, I'll have some things that won't spike my blood sugar, right? So I have coffee, but I really like soup for lunch. I have bone broth for lunch a lot of the days. Try to do 1 hour of movement. So I'll either take a walk, or I'll do Pilates, or I'll do my Tracy Anderson. And then I get in the sauna. I dry brush and I get in the sauna. So I do my infrared sauna for 30 minutes. And then for dinner, I try to eat, according to paleo. So lots of vegetables. It's really important for me to support my detox.
So I was just I was listening to that and I was just like, you didn't list that much food. I don't want to I don't it's a weird thing to comment on because I'm not an expert, but when I heard it, I was like, okay, so coffee has 0 calories or 5 calories or whatever. And then bone broth. Okay. And then you eat some vegetables at dinner time. How many I don't know.
Well, also, wasn't the question, what's your wellness routine?
Yeah.
And the only thing other than diet was 1 hour of physical movement
in the sauna,
an infrared sauna.
I don't even know what that is.
It's just, it was basically just go for a walk and then use your magic $15 million machine that you build that Robert Downey Jr. got you as a gift.
Yeah, it's powered by the core from Iron Man. It's in Tony Stark's chest.
Yeah, hop in the Tesseract for a couple hours.
So
it's just so, look, it's not that anybody has to be responsible or is legally responsible for what they say as someone with a platform, but with great power comes great responsibility. And there's something a little icky, and I mean a little, it's just a little bit, but a little bit icky about branding wellness, which is such a broad term. It's clearly intended to encompass a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Branding that in a exclusively dietary way is a little peculiar, in the same way that hey, I'm a guy and I'm trying to improve myself. Well, it only ever references how to DM women and how aggressive to be and never compromising and getting up at 5 a.m.
Yeah. It's if I were criticizing a GaryVee type or a hustle grind set type for the same thing, I would say when you're giving advice like this is why we constantly talk about how we're not experts and we're sort of exploring stuff, and we consult our doctors, we consult our therapists and stuff like that and we would never try to give advice or anything like that to our audience in that way. We'll give lifestyle advice hey, here's how to try to be a nice person or whatever.
Things that can't be axiomatically true, or things that can't objectively be wrong that we don't, I guess, have personal experience with. But never say anything.
Yeah. But then the Gwyneth Paltrow thing. So she responded to the backlash, and this was her response, and I thought it was interesting.
Okay, so let's jump into this. So I think it's important for everybody to know that I was doing a podcast with my doctor. So this is a person that I've been working with for over 2 years now to deal with some chronic stuff. And I have long COVID, so I have been, and the way it manifests for me is very high levels of inflammation over time. So I've been working with Dr. Cole to really focus on foods that aren't inflammatory, right? So lots of vegetables, cooked vegetables. Okay, so let's jump into.
So first of all, I want to take that seriously and hope that she, has a speedy recovery. It's something to be taken very seriously. But I also think that there is a responsibility for someone with a platform and with someone in power to if you're, I guess this clip was taken out of context, and she said it was with her doctor, but then, so this person, Timothy Caulfield, who is a professor of health law, and science policy, said Gwyneth Paltrow uses long COVID to justify her recent bunky wellness routine, but then says her doctor is an alt-med chiro quack, not a science-informed practitioner and not an MD. And there's zero evidence to support her approach. I haven't sort of cross-referenced this with other things, but if the doctor's not an MD, it's all this exists in this alt medicine world that's not super regulated and feels very this person is the highest of high class. You know what I mean?
And there's a reason they didn't say, what's your diet? What's your diet routine? What's your day to day? It is, what's your wellness routine? Like a martial art. How do you optimize your life? How do you reach this thing that a lot of different people are trying to do? I don't know. It'd be like if GaryVee made a video. It's like, what do you do? It's like, well, I play with my dog. Like, well, I can't do that. I don't understand.
But it's like, don't you feel like it was important context to mention? Like,
it's a good point. Is it in the pod? Do we know that they? At least in the clip.
I don't know. It's I guess it is not in the clip, but it was okay. What's your wellness routine? Yeah,
it specifically that is that take. So we saw one there that making the take of Gwyneth Paltrow maybe X, Y, and Z, but she will outlive us all because we don't need the 3 square meals a day. And this is, if it is unique and personal and medical, it should not be advice. It should not be suggestions.
It shouldn't be held up as like my cutesy wellness routine.
But of course people would, because she's a famous, beloved celebrity that's talking about a kind of lifestyle trend and lifestyle aesthetic that a lot of people want to emulate. So again, great power comes great responsibility. It's not, you're not legally viable for saying this stuff.
Yeah, it's just scary. Like I just feel like the overlap. I think I like waded into like any sort of sponsorship, like health related, one time, and I ended up canceling it. And I was like, this just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to hold this responsibility. At all.
I mean, it never feels good to feel like disingenuine as well.
Yeah, or just like I just don't know. And if somebody was to come to me and say like, I tried this thing and it helped me, that's great. But if they were like, I tried this thing and it like ruined my life, it's just like, that is so much different than you buying like a funny gag gift or a weird, like a VPN sponsorship or whatever. Like
at one point, it was before I was really doing brand stuff. It was very early with the old ye olde YouTube videos. But at one point I would have been interested in doing one of the Invisalign competitor brands that are, a little bit more subscription oriented. But it turns out, allegedly, a couple of those brands that were very new on the scene were with their claim of like, it only takes 6 months. It's quicker. There's one which you wear you only wear it at night, and you, right before doing so, wear a grip that vibrates your teeth and gums.
Okay.
I'm on traditional Invisalign, which I say only because for context, and that I'm using, the oldest, at least of all of the most proven ones, which is why I went with it. My timeline is 18 months to 2 years to finish mine. Yeah, that was about halfway through now, but I will gladly add on that extra time not to risk like losing a tooth or fucking something up. And if I were to advertise something like that, and then I found out months later, anything health related is such a dicey. I'd have to ask Rogan. Like, how does health work?
I mean, that's like all of those finance influencers are being sued for like $1 billion for promoting FTX. And I don't think that I like, from what it seems, that's probably not going to have legs really, but the responsibility of like, if I was, on the other end of like an FTX style, like, cause that's crypto. And I think that that's another reason that I've always been very afraid of like crypto stuff, because of how volatile it is and how we don't have real practical uses for it in the real world. And so many of the people who are invested in it are speculating on an investment rather than like a practical tool.
It's always creepy or like icky and off-putting to me when, cause it's basically doing exactly what this is doing, exactly the rise and grind mindset, where it's not just, here's cryptocurrency. It could be an interesting financial investment. Yeah. It's, here's cryptocurrency. It's magic. Yeah. It's magic.
And if you're not investing in crypto, then you're freaking missing out.
Then you don't get laid. Like it just translates to a lifestyle. NFTs.
Wag me. Do you know about all those crypto phrases?
Wait, I haven't wagged me.
So GM is obviously, it's like good morning, but it's like, weirdly been co-opted by crypto people. So like when I see somebody just say GM by itself, it's like a crypto dog whistle.
They've taken a lot of like Xbox Live Elite speak.
Yeah. And then wag me is we're all gonna make it.
Oh, cope.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad. That one's sad.
Yeah, because they're all like supposed to like rally, like there's
I'm not actually crying. I'm laughing, actually. Whack me.
Phrases.
I hardly know you. I mean, seriously.
Crypto slang. GM, in GMI, not gonna make it. Yeah. FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Like it's used as a thing. Like FUD is a thing. It's like I think from the military.
Well, I mean, look at that. FOMO is one of them, and that is basically what generated the initial rush of crypto.
Yeah, and it's like FUD is a thing where it's almost thrown around. Like when FTX was failing, people who were pro FTX were like, "This is just FUD." People are just like fudders. They're fudders.
They're fudders.
And those are people who like are
casting.
They're casting doubt. And I'm like, shouldn't we all be more discerning about this stuff?
Fear, uncertainty, and doubt is like, that's the stock market.
That's
what that is. It's doubt. Yeah, doubt stuff. Don't only gam or whatever the first one was.
You got hodl, hold on for dear life.
A lot of these are kind of worrying.
Yeah, no, literally, they're all kind of very like, do your own research. Like, not financial advice. DYOR.
Not almost always a bad thing to say. Do your own research.
Yeah. It is really interesting that do your own research has become such a strange, like it was something that I was told in middle school to not source Wikipedia. You know what I mean? Where they were like, do your own research, use like first and secondhand accounts and,
the research you should be doing is with, textbooks that were written 15 years ago and took 10 years to be peer reviewed.
Yeah.
That's talking about how like one day we'll have fridge freezers.
Right. But an AI written article told me that the vaccine was bad. So
I was talking about the polio vaccine because it was written that long ago.
Also, we are on a weird website called CoinX. And one of the next article, the next article is everything you should know about NFT screenshots.
Oh, is it good? No worries. It's perfectly, what the fuck?
A few weeks ago, and by a few weeks, I mean in February, we did an episode where we had pen pal homework that was to tell us about the lore from Sad Boys. So it's pen pals time. Here's where we play the pen pals jingle. Pen pals. Pen pal. I forgot we do actually have a pen pals song.
Tons of them at this point. These little freaks.
Yeah. So we have had a bunch of guests on. We haven't figured out how we're going to do pen pals with guests yet. And so now it's time for us to get into it. The lore of the Boyz. We started this podcast in 2017. Here's a photo with Jordan's feet blocked out.
Those are blocked. Replaced with big shoes.
with those red boots that went super viral.
Oh, yeah. Replaced with Sora's clown shoes from Kingdom Hearts, because they'll be almost big enough for my crazy long feet. I don't know if there's like a Lord of the Rings forced perspective happening or if they really are just that long. It looks wild. They're most of the frame.
They do look long.
It was like surfboards.
Yeah. They're like those flippers that you use
for diving.
For diving.
It does look like that. I go diving without any equipment. I don't need it. I just hold my breath and flipper myself down in the ocean.
So
I'm an Aquaman.
So we've got some pen pals here for lore. And the first one,
because we don't remember, this was the part of the motivation was we don't remember any of the old references, and we're just curious. Every now and then we'll just get a DM that's like, "Klungle on the wongi." Like, I don't want help me.
All right, so this one comes from Angela. Hiya, this doesn't exactly match this week's homework, Angela. But I just wanted you to both know that on a consistent basis, I listen to your social anxiety with Lauren Shippen episode. Wow. I did find the podcast after you took your first long break in 2018 and backtracked from there. This episode is one that I revisit on highly anxious days because anxiety feels so much like an echo chamber. It's really hard to distinguish what is normal behavior and what is attributed to a mental illness. That line only gets blurrier when I'm surrounded by people who don't function the same as me. It reinforces my own me versus them mentality. I have one of those too. Thankfully, hearing you all discuss the pre, during, and post anxiety to especially new interactions has been such an enormous help. I admire your abilities to articulate your own thoughts and feelings around anxiety in a way that's easily consumable, yet very colorful and healthy. I will continue to listen to this episode on tough days. No matter how many times I hear it, every time feels like the first time. Oh, that's very kind. Even though I know most of the jokes, analogies, and anecdotes by heart at this point, I continue to feel extremely validated. I don't know them by heart. We listened to it once barely, and we were there.
I didn't know them by the next sentence I was saying.
Yeah. I continue to feel extremely validated and supported when I listen. In a way, it fuels the reminder that I'm not the only one who thinks this way, and it's okay as long as I manage it. It also almost serves as a positive self-talk for me. I can't explain how many times that episode has helped me stop digging my own anxiety/self-pity hole. I don't know what I'll do if you ever take it down. Download it for offline, please, geez. Angela. Yeah,
archive.com.
Yeah, just like we're not planning on taking it down, but like you can have it for your own.
Anything could happen. Print it out.
Oh wait, it's an audio episode too, isn't it?
Audio only, yeah.
Yeah, and so because we used to just release audio episodes and then take a single photograph, and that was the only evidence that it ever
print
happened.
it out, hold it behind, and move it around like we were talking.
Yeah, here's a photo of us at Lauren Shippen's place. Actually, the Sad Boys Nights.
Yeah, okay.
Shout out to Sad Boys Nights. The icon for that RSS feed was taken at Lauren Shippen's house.
Taken by perfect natural cinematographer Lauren Shippen.
What a queen! What a wonderful human being. I obviously also listen because you guys make me giggle, and I very much think you have the right take on things. I never feel offended or judged as a listener. It always feels like you're just boys having a time, and I'm a fly on the wall. Keep up the great work. I appreciate everything you do. Well, that was more of a compliment, Angela.
This is
Thank you so
nice.
much. Very, very kind.
Thank you from February 22.
Yeah.
You know, my brain... Okay, look. I used to live in the UK, if you could believe it. And in Europe, well, most places I know outside the US, a date is written as day, month, year.
You know, the order of ascending importance.
The sentence, you would say.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I guess you could say May 5th.
Yeah, I do.
When was it? It's like the 5th of May, you know. But whenever I see a date, I reread it. And I go like, well, let's just double check because my brain doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I even do it when it's the 22nd of February.
Month,
was that 22nd month? What was happening there?
What was that? That was Boyz Jewelry.
Yeah. That was very sweet. Thank you so much. I mean, it's almost like a lore insight because I forgot the topic. I know we did an episode with Lauren.
It's cool to hear that old episode was valuable to someone because it's barely, I don't even remember what we talked about. I think probably social anxiety, stuff at parties probably.
Or at work, I imagine as well.
Yeah, or like going to the coffee shop and weird stuff happens. I feel like a lot of our stories are at the coffee shop.
Yeah, dating someone with a snake. They just let her bring the snake in, by the way. On that date, they didn't have like a snake protocol.
You're going to tell me more about, we're actually going to record an episode right after this, Sad Boys Nights, our premium Patreon podcast, PPP. I think we are going to talk a bit about dating. I've got some dating horror stories. I've got maybe one of the weirdest things that's ever happened to me on a date, and we will be talking about it on Sad Boys Nights right after the show. So there's a whole other show that happens after this. Do you want to read this one?
Okay.
Sorry.
Huh.
Yeah, read this.
Interesting.
No, read it out loud.
Yeah. All right. That's what I like to see. Next one.
Okay.
Okay. From Janice, whose pronouns are not provided. My favorite bit ever on the face of the planet was... What? My favorite bit ever on the face of the planet was Ted Nerfer, the nervous surfer. No way that's something we did.
Is that real?
Can't remember which episode it was on.
I feel like it's got to be a lie.
But I miss Ted dearly. I think it came from Jarvis attempting an impersonation of Jordan and doing a blend of voices. I hope you guys remember Ted. My best friend Ted. Kiss hug, have a good week. Ted Nerfer.
Do my voice, my accent as I open my mouth and ask you how your week was.
Yeah. Hey, Jarvis. How was your week, man?
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting blend of archetypes there.
Yeah.
Started kind of cool action star,
Right.
ended nervous surfer?
Yeah.
Nerfer?
Yeah, Nerfer. His name is Ted Nerfer. The nervous
Self-esteem.
The nervous surfer. Still learning to stand. Oh, boy.
Those waves look real big.
No, but that sounds violent.
I like California, but this is a bit much.
I like this guy a lot.
So my week has been a lot. It's just been a lot of work stuff.
So that was fun. Oh, a lot of work stuff.
We look so different. Am I crazy?
We do look so different.
I mean, the hair, that's deceptive, right? But if I cover it... Yeah. No, dude, I look like a different human being.
I mean, one of our friends genuinely did not know if you were you or not. And that was upsetting.
What did they say? They said, is that they thought maybe it was an AI blend or like filter. Yeah. I believe the exact text to you was, is that a mix of you or is it Jordan without tattoos?
Yeah. Ted Nerfer, the Nervous Surfer, is very funny.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right, I got this one. This is from Alejandro. Pronouns not provided. Hello. I just want to start. Why do I get the long ones? Hello. I just want to start off by saying I love the show. Y'all are awesome. Don't stop doing what you're doing. It's great. In y'all's most recent episode, you said to bring something from the past. I want to say my favorite episode that I go back to and listen to all the time is a cleaning house episode. I remember that one. It fills me with such content.
Such content.
We do love to fill you with content here on Sad Boys. That's why we make so much of it. Sad Boys Nights coming to a Patreon near you, patreon.com/sadboys.
Coming to it that it is there.
It's already there. There's already episodes there with Nick. There's already episodes there with Eddie. There's going to be a new one with us.
No Curtis. He's not welcome.
Yeah, we really should have recorded one with Curtis, but we hadn't figured out our plan yet.
Next time.
But also on the Patreon is going to be, we're recovering some of the lost Patreon episodes, like the MKBHD episode, and it will be in the, we haven't figured out where it's going on the Patreon, but it's going to be on the Patreon coming soon. It fills me with such content and helps ground me with reality and my own mental health state. It would be cool if we could listen to the podcast and have it help us, you know, because we're still trying to figure it out.
If two other people could do it, if somebody's willing to dub it.
Yeah. So if people were willing to dub it, that would be great.
That'd be cool.
It also helped when I was in university and super depressed. Also, I don't remember if this was that episode, but I also love the trash can series from Jarvis' old apartment. That I can never forget.
That's traumatic enough to never forget. Yeah. And not one that ended.
No.
That went on in LA also.
Yeah, there was an LA trash saga. I don't know. Did we talk about it? We must have.
Are we making the show close enough to that?
Yeah, I mean, we had to.
It was during COVID?
It was. Good question. It was like 3 months after I moved in. So it was right before COVID.
Because the soonest we would have talked about it on the show would have been like near the end of 2020.
Yeah. So let me know if I did talk about the LA version of the trash saga. Anyways, all this to say, keep up the good work. Hope you can do another episode like the cleaning house episode. I mean, I feel like the Nick episode was very much like it was very personal, very like vulnerable.
Yeah, I think it makes cleaning house almost like a bad analogy, but I do feel like some stuff is cleaned permanently because it's cleaning house like, hey, maintaining your mental health, adapting. And that is certainly a thing that we do have to do, maintain balance and stay on top of any treatments we need or have. But I feel more capable now than I did then, certainly.
Yeah.
There's less to clean. I have a simplified house.
Yeah, I kind of know
more.
What's up. There's a little bit better now.
There's some stuff that I can just, it sounds, maybe I'm oversimplifying. There's some stuff which I can decide to be happy about. I can just be like, that just doesn't worry me anymore.
Maybe we do a commentary on the cleaning house episode on the Patreon.
Oh yeah, that would work.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, we're still figuring out stuff with the Patreon, but there's lots of stuff coming.
So we have a 50% hit rate on law. We know trash can series.
We do know trash can series.
That's because that was your Vietnam.
That is something I still think about. There's I guess it's the LA trash story where I was like avoiding my neighbors and I like got anxiety going outside because I thought I might run into them and have to have a conversation with them. So that's a little social anxiety combined with a little bit of trash can.
Well, for people unfamiliar, Jarvis was having a pretty classic sitcom style conflict with neighbors in multiple cities where there was some fucking like medieval crusade conquest battle between who gets to use what trash can, and there were no official rules, but they were stopping you or something.
Yeah,
I haven't rewatched the show recently.
Basically we were splitting our trash cans because we had 2 sets of them for the 2 apartments. And we weren't splitting them, we were sharing them. And then I didn't put the trash out like a couple of times. It doesn't matter how many times, because what they did was send me a passive aggressive letter that was about my inability to I maybe wasn't responsible enough to take out the trash, and we needed to come up with another solution. And then we decided I was like, oh yeah, let's just split the bins. No big deal, guys. And also you could just talk to me. You don't have to write me a fucking send me a owl. That
is if you're seeing other people just tell me of neighbors.
Yeah. And so then we split the trash cans, and a miracle happened where I never had an issue with taking my trash out, because it wasn't an issue that I had. But what did happen is that they would continue to use my trash bin, and then I took a photo of my trash bin every single time it happened, because if they ever came at me again, I was going to provide them with a fucking Exhibit A, B through F of
objection.
Of every single time they used my trash bin. But it's an aside and it's over, and I've completely forgotten about it. Can't you tell?
I actually don't even care, and I'm not crying.
Hey, Jarvis and Justin. Okay, we get that reference.
It's my ass.
My deep cut with you guys goes all the way back to April 2016, which is before the podcast.
Interesting.
I first heard Jordan on an episode of Tales from the Tavern.
Oh my God. Yeah. Wow.
And his characters and storytelling, as well as comedic timing, are what made me a lifelong fan. I honestly didn't know about Sad Boys until 2020, though, so imagine my surprise when I realized I could hear more Jordan. It was then that I discovered ARCs and saw Old Thimble get resurfaced again, and it made me very happy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think a character that ended up in my old D&D show was a name that we had a character of.
Oh.
It was like a goblin, maybe, or something. I'm Old Thimble, like that.
Oh, interesting.
Plagiarism I did.
Jordan, I have to ask, what happened to, and I remember this. Jordan, I have to ask, what happened to Pitched?
Oh my God. Dude.
Nicolas Cage in Crime was brilliant, and I still go back to it from time to time.
Literally forgot that existed until right now.
Yeah, I know.
There is honestly, the biggest thing that happened, I was demoralized because the first time this was a podcast I tried to start at one point that was like writing like little short stories that you then read to each other, one to a guest, one from the guest. So it was, I don't know, goofy, silly, weird, like, you know, whatever. And you were pitching a movie essentially. I gave up on the show, or was like emotionally overwhelmed because I was a young boy, because I uploaded the podcast and didn't understand file compression. And so I uploaded like a 1.8 gigabyte podcast episode, and no one could download it or listen to it. And I was just over. I didn't know how to fix it, I just never engaged with the podcast ever again.
You just walked away.
There's an episode with Heather just never came out.
Oh damn, that's crazy. Because I remember you telling me about the premise of the show before you made it, and so that was like we knew each other at that point. Okay.
You know, sorry, just a random thought I had, because actually I feel like Jack Conti used to do a presentation about this kind of thing. It's weird looking back and seeing how many, failed is the wrong word, just growth projects there have been, having like a chronology of things we like and we don't like, versions of ourselves, plural. It's weird to look back on that as when I was 21, I just wanted to be like, 21. No, I'm done. I'm finished. I'm complete. Or like when you're 15 and you're like, I'm going to buy a fedora and that'll be my personality. I'll be the gentleman guy. Like whatever.
Be a bit of a gent.
Shout outs to the UK school system for making you wear a uniform and thus forcing a generation of Brits to not be able to wear a fedora, embarrassingly. Saved my ass, that's for sure.
Okay, so we are going to do, thanks for listening or watching. We're going to do another hour of talking about embarrassing dating stories. We've got some special premium pals, which is our pen pals for our Patreon listeners only. And all that's happening on Sad Boys Nights, our Patreon bonus show, full length Patreon bonus show. This ain't no half episode shit. All right.
Like every other Patreon podcast. And you know who we're talking about.
And we're doing that on patreon.com/sadboys.
head on over or else, yeah.
But Jordan, thank you for joining me here today.
No worries, anytime.
Thanks for making the trip.
This is my last one.
We end every episode of Sad Boys with a particular phrase.
We love you.
And we're sorry. That's me, Ted Nerfer, the nervous surfer. This is the story about how I was tricked into going on a date with a fan. I'm in San Francisco. Our podcast is small. My YouTube is small. I met somebody on a dating app. Oh, it's nice to meet you. From the dating app that we met on. Cool. Few drinks in, I have a confession to make, she says to me. Gucci girl, how you doing? How you moving, girl? Moving, girl. How's your day looking? That future girl, yeah, we on now. Take my money, go away, all you want it.
Girl, too rich for me.